check out the inner workings.
Hey everybody, long time no see. It's Ned over at My Philippine Dreams, here in the city of gentle people, Dumaguete City, and I am accompanied by my sidekick, Bridget. Now, one of the sad realities of long-term life in the Philippines is the inevitability of brownouts. Brownouts are not really brownouts, they're actually blackouts. I don't know why they call them brownouts, probably because of Kikisama, smooth interpersonal relations, and they don't want to offend blackouts by calling them blackouts, so they call them brownouts. I don't know if that logic actually applies, but we'll just let it go. So in dealing with brownouts, there's a couple things people do. Sometimes they buy generators, sometimes when there's a long-term brownout, they just get out of town. And sometimes they just sit in their hot house and sweat and wish they were dead. Now, some of you might have recalled a while back I bought this 3,000 watt pure sine wave inverter. It works really well, and what I do is I hook it up to my trusty Hyundai Tucson's battery. I turn the car on, I run an extension cord into the house, and I can run the refrigerator, fans, all that stuff. So basically, this $100 pure sine inverter turns my truck, sorry Ernie, into an emergency generator. I've used it a few times, it's worked really well. The only problem is it's a pain in the ass when there's a brownout, and it's usually at night when we're trying to sleep. Having to go out, start up the truck, back it up, bring it up towards the house, pop the hood, hook this thing up, and do all the things that's required to get the system operating. And if it's raining, this is not waterproof. So that could be a serious problem. You don't want to be mixing electricity and water because the end result usually isn't good. And at one point I was thinking of having a technician install this under the seat, run wires to the forward compartment. So that way if it happens, all I need to do is roll down the window, put the extension cord and plug it in under the seat and it's good to go. Then after thinking about it for a while, I realized that it might not be in my best interest or the interest of the Tucson to have something like this under the front seat. Because I don't think my full coverage car insurance covers inverter fires. So with all that in mind and wanting something more convenient, I decided on this. This monstrosity right here, and it weighs 13 kilos, which is about 28 pounds, is a lithium iron phosphate battery pack. There are 4 batteries inside of this housing, hooked up in series. Each of them is about 3.2 volts. They come to a total of about 12 volts. This bad boy cost about 8,000 pesos, which is about 160 US dollars. And so far everything with it has been as advertised. I'm going to actually break it open in a little bit to show the insides of it. Alright, let me just stop right there. Let's go right into the insides of this thing right now. My trusty assistant wife will assist me in this.
Let's check out the inner workings.
Alright, so we're going to break it open. So this is the Sinopoly LIFEPO4 battery pack that I got from Solar Battery on Shoppee. And we're going to open it up now. Yeah. My trusty assistant here will help me open it. And as you can see, look at it's professionally put together. Now I could have got all these parts separately and done this myself and probably electrocuted myself. And since I have a child and a wife now, I'm trying not to take myself out. So you can see the professionalism that everything is put together. You got the Sinopoly LIFEPO4s, they're all hooked up in series. Very well done, everything is good. You got the daily 100 amp balancer. And this is really important to have a balancer because you want to be charging these equally. You don't want one to have more charge than the other. And that's the job of the daily 100 amp balancer. This is also the voltage indicator. When I first got this, and you can see the horrible job I did fixing it, the voltage indicator wasn't working. And I had fully charged the battery up, but it still wasn't showing. So I messaged the guy and he said, hey, open it up and make sure the wires are all good. This wire was cut right here, so I put it back together poorly, and now it is functioning again. Right now it's showing 13.4 volts, so it's fully charged up. The great thing about LIFEPO4, these batteries, is you can charge them up and just let them sit, and they're good to go. So that is the interior. Again, it's got the rugged ABS plastic box. It's got nice spacing, and even though these are used batteries, there's no bloating in them, there's no spaces in between the batteries, so it's all good. and Angel wants some attention, so we're going to go check her out. So that's that. Thank you to my lovely assistant for your help. But I was thinking about getting a deep cycle marine battery to use as a backup. But when you look at the prices of the deep cycles, because this thing is about 95 amp hours. This is a big monster of a power source. And the prices of the deep cycles were actually more in some cases than this system actually got. I got this on Shoppee. It's a guy called Solar Battery or something like that. I looked at the reviews. They were very positive. They were glowing. These are actually used LiFePo4 batteries, but there's no bulging. We'll see, and again, we'll see that inside here. And in addition to cost, the other reason that I got this, lithium ion batteries actually have a lifespan about 10 times longer than that of lead acid batteries. After about 2,000 cycles, that's fully charging it and discharging it, you should still have about 80% of its max capacity. So in going for the long-term over deep cycle batteries, I went with this. Also, they have low resistance, they charge at a faster rate. They weigh about 1/4 that of lead acid batteries. Like if you had a 95 amp hour lead acid deep cycle battery, it would weigh a lot more than 13 kilos. And you can also store the same amount of energy as a lead acid in half the space. And finally, another benefit of these lithium iron, I keep almost saying lithium ion, but they're actually lithium iron phosphate. Another benefit is that it can handle hot temperatures. Hot temperatures with sealed lead acid batteries is a killer. It causes a lot of damage to the batteries. It cuts down on its longevity, and it's just not a good thing. And here in the tropics, it's pretty fucking hot. I mean, it just rained now, and I'm still sweating. Bridget, stop interfering. All right, the downsides of lithium iron phosphate batteries. Lower energy density than like a lithium ion. Lithium ion is the batteries we have in our phone. So you can't store the amount in the same space as you can with a lithium ion. But again, this is going to go under the bed with the inverter on top of it in case of power out. So that's not a big deal. It also has problems. Lithium iron phosphate also has problems discharging and temperatures lower than -20 degrees Celsius, which is about -4 degrees Fahrenheit. But again, being in the Philippines, I don't see that as a problem. And finally, oh shit, hold on. Pulled muscle, pulled pec. And finally, the final downside of these is you need a special charger for these. You can't use a regular SLA sealed lead acid battery charger. So you're going to get this. It costs about $24 on Lazada. It wasn't a big deal. And it does a fantastic job of monitoring it and balancing it and all that. So it's a good thing. All right. Some of you might be saying, Ned, you spent about $320 US on this emergency power system. Why didn't you get a generator? I've mentioned this in previous videos. I'm not too keen on generators. Even the newer ones like the Honda series, they still make quite a bit of noise. There's a guy who has a Honda generator 2 houses down from us, and when he fires that thing up, you can hear it all through our house. Also, you got the maintenance on the thing because it's an internal combustion engine. And you got to change out the fuel every now and then. It's just a pain in the ass. So for $320 in lieu of getting a generator set, this is what we have. Also, at some point, I might be setting up a solar array. And if I do that, this battery system will actually be transferable to that system. So that is pretty much the long and short of it. I've rambled on long enough. The system has worked out fairly well. This is a giant battery pack and keep our fans going for about 2 days. And if there's anything more long-term, like if we have a natural disaster here in the Philippines and we need another emergency backup supply, I can hook the inverter up to the truck and we're good to go. So what have your experiences been with emergency power supplies in the Philippines? I know the last time I did this video, I got quite a few comments, some of them quite heated, about me not getting a generator for some reason. I don't know why, but some people were so upset about that. Be sure to leave them down in the comment section. Until next time, this is Ned over My Philippine Dreams. Puppies, rainbows, unicorns, and emergency power supplies for all. All right. Champion. chance. You're the worst assistant cameraman ever.